Hi everyone, today we're going to take a look at a power bank from Romoss, but this one has a special feature. You can see it looks like an ordinary portable USB power bank, but this one actually has a built-in charger, so you don't have to remember to carry around a separate charger. This one's all in one, which makes it very convenient, especially for people who are always forgetting their charger. Now this is known as the UP10 or the uPower 10. The reason for that is because it's 10,000 milliamp hour, and we're going to test that capacity later. This is the box it came in. This was sent to me by Romoss for review, and I've been using it for, I don't know, maybe a week or two now, and I'm pretty happy with it, to be honest. I like it. Very fancy packaging, but honestly, you know, who really cares about the packaging? It's not that important. But what you get is the power bank, and well, that's pretty much all you need, to be honest, because the charger's built in. You just plug this into the wall, recharge it, then take it out with you, and you can recharge your phone or your tablet or whatever you want to power by USB. So completely self-contained. It's a really cool product. I've been wanting to test one like this for a long time, and this is the first time I've actually got my hands on one where the charger's built in. And to give you an idea of size, I believe there's 3 18650 batteries here, and then the charger sections here, and you can see it's pretty portable. It fits in my hand. It's a little bit chunky, but not too bad. On the end here we've got a display which tells you how much battery capacity is remaining, so we press that button, you can see they light up. It looks like they're flashing on the camera, but that's just an effect of the camera. They're actually on solid, so pretty cool. Now we're going to do a capacity test to make sure this is a genuine 10,000 milliamp hour power bank, or 37 watt hours, which is the equivalent. And for that we'll use my USB watt meter and a dummy load set to 1 amp. So let me set this up, and there you go. You can see that it's discharging at 1 amp. So we just leave this running for probably many hours and then see what the genuine capacity is. So the power bank has stopped outputting power, and the results are very good. 34 watt hours. Now the rating on this power bank is 37 watt hours or 10,000 milliamp hour. So you might think, well, how come we're below that? Well, anything within 10 to 15% is considered genuine. The reason why you've got some losses is the internal battery voltage is 3.7 volts, but when you're pulling the power out, it's at 5 volts. 34.75 watt hours is very positive. That means it's scored within around 91% of its rated capacity, so that means this is a genuine 10,000 milliamp hour power bank. I'm happy with that result. Now if we look at the end, it says one output is for 1 amp and the other output is for 2.1 amp. I have a USB watt meter and a USB dummy load, and just make sure that we really can pull out the power 2.1 amp and the 1 amp. So let's give it a go. So I plug my tester into the top port and I'll slowly increase the load. Let's turn on the power bank by pressing the button. There we go. So half an amp, let's keep going. 1.5, keep going. 2 amp, 2.35 amp, and it still hasn't cut off. Let's keep going. 2.4 amp, and it seems to be okay. Let's keep going. 2.5 amp, okay, and the voltage has dropped to 3.6. So I suspect this is actually a 2.4 amp socket instead of a 2.1 amp, because you saw there we did get 2.4 and it was stable, but once we went past that we saw a big voltage drop. And now let's test the other port. So 1 amp, keep going. 1.6 amp, keep going. 2.1, 2.3, 2.4, and then once you get to 2.5 there's a big voltage drop. So what we learned from that is that it doesn't matter which port you use. Now we know the maximum output of one port is around 2.4 amp, but what about if we use 2 USB ports at the same time? Well, plugged in here I have this light, and this is consuming around 1 amp. So what we can do is bring up our adjustable load until we see a noticeable voltage drop. So it's okay at 1 amp, let's bring it up. 1.2 amp, it's okay. 1.3 amp, a little bit of voltage drop, but nothing too bad. 1.4 amp, still okay. Okay, so 1.5 amp, it's gone down to 4.6 volts, which is still usable but not great. Let's push it a bit further. No, it's dropping. So it looks like the maximum combined output is around 2.4 amp. Now another question is whether this can be used as a standalone charger. Let's say it's plugged into the wall and I want to charge my cell phone. Well, we can test this out now. At the moment it's drawing 0.15 watts because it's basically fully charged. Let's plug in my cell phone and see what happens. We should hopefully see that it starts drawing more power from the AC. So let's plug in my phone. And there you go. It's drawing around 9 watts pretty much. So yes, you could potentially use this as a standalone charger. So if you go away, let's say you're on vacation or something, you could take this along and then plug this into the wall and charge your gadgets with it without having to drain the battery inside. Now there is a caveat to this. I did the same test when this was only half charged. So not only is it trying to charge the internal battery, but it's also trying to output power to my cell phone. And what I found is that after around 30 minutes it got quite hot and then it stopped charging. Obviously that's a safety feature. If it gets too hot, it's just going to stop doing anything to protect itself. So if you do plan to use this as a standalone charger plugged into the wall like you would a normal USB charger, you want to make sure the battery is actually fully charged first. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's really designed for that. I don't think so. I think it's really meant to be just like a portable power bank that has the convenience of the charger built in. But potentially if it's fully charged, then yes, you could actually use this as a standalone charger without having to drain the battery. So I think that pretty much sums up the UP10 from Romoss. It's a pretty good power bank. It's a genuine 10,000 mAh power bank, which is good. The maximum output is 2.4 amp. For a few people that might be an issue, but for many people it won't be an issue, but it's good to know. You can never forget your charger because it's built in. It's just a really useful power bank. I like it. So if you have any questions, put it in the comment section down below, and if you're interested, I'll put a link to buy this in the video description. So if you enjoyed this video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching.